The Dolphins trade back from 11 with the Dallas Cowboys, and they take the Cowboys took Caleb Downs. The Dolphins took Kadyn Proctor from Alabama, and then the Dolphins at 30 didn't go to 30. They went up to 27, and they took Chris Johnson, cornerback from San Diego State. This was Chris Johnson on how fired up he is to be a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah, man, it definitely surprised me, man. Just sitting there watching the draft, obviously seeing different things go down, and I finally saw my phone ring, and I answered, and my service was a little spotty, so I couldn't really hear too well. I had to start moving around the house, but once I was able to talk with everybody, man, it was just a great feeling, man. Just understanding, a team values me enough to be able to trade up and grab me, man, and like you said, pre-draft meetings went great with them, man. I definitely connected with them and their staff, and man, I'm just excited to get out there and play some ball, man.
Yeah, he was pretty much regarded as like the fourth top guy, but the thing is, most people kept McCoy in the top two, and the thing with McCoy is obviously the red flag with the health, and then his teammate Hood is there as well. So, but this is a guy who lit it up in the post draft process as well after having all the success that he had at San Diego State. And hopefully he goes up there with best San Diego State athletes: Kawhi Leonard, Tony Gwynn, Marshall Faulk.
So
right there with them.
I was looking at the draft, and I mean, it seems like O-line, D-line dominated, right?
Especially the bottom half of it for sure.
Right. You knew Mendoza was going to go first, and then you got edge rushers. You got Carnell Tate, who's a beast. I'm not going to even say that he's not. Kansas City moved up. Then he had 3 Ohio State players in the top 7.
Yep.
And then you had kind of
the surprising one was probably, and I guess this is probably they just didn't want to give up the talent, but the Giants taking Reese, it's like they are so flush with those guys who get after the quarterback, and they swear they're not traded Thibodeau. But they took Abdul Carter last year. And they still have Brian Burns on the team. And like I guess there's a little bit of Reese. He kind of tried out pass rusher. Maybe he'll be a linebacker. They'll use him all over the place.
I kind of think he's going to be like an inside outside guy. But yeah, very. And the thing is what makes Arvell Reese appealing is he is a freak of nature when it comes to athletic. As far as speed, power, and stuff like that. And that's kind of one of those guys you can move around. But the funny thing about it is like they almost had a 2-pronged plan because their next pick was going to be offensive lineman.
Yep.
And Fano went to the Browns, and so then they got Maui Noah.
Maui Noah is going to die for Jackson Dart. Careful, dude. This Jackson Dart, he's a little bit of a loose cannon.
Right.
Careful with your words, Francis. I don't want you trudging into danger. Jackson Dart seems like the type of guy who will he'll jump off like a boat and be like, it'll be fun.
Right. Now, my other question is that just as football goes, right, regardless of how talented a safety is, when you think of how defense works and what the importance is of a defense, is Caleb Downs, forget the talent, is that a top 10 valuable position? You see what I'm saying?
I mean, it's a tough one because it's like, is it more so than like taking Love at 3? Is it more so than taking Tate at 4?
When was the last safety drafted that high come back and make that much of an impact? When I was in Cleveland, we took
Eric Berry.
We took Eric not Berry. We took Eric Turner, number 2. And he was a safety. So I'm not sure and even when Dylan Thieneman went from Oregon, they were talking about him like he runs a 4-3, he can play over the slot. They were talking about all the different things that he could do that even though he's listed as a safety, you see him doing a lot of things.
Sure.
And he went 25th. So I don't know. And that's another move that I'm almost wondering, you traded up to get him. How much of an impact is he going to make just at that position?
I think that's the other thing why everybody was surprised the Chiefs even traded up, because they're like, was somebody going to jump and get Delane too that much?
Right.
Obviously, that's the tell that they got, because they felt the need to go do it. But I
thought cornerbacks would start getting taken after the Miami pick, right? Only because, as I said before, 75% of the league plays zone. So that means there's more of an emphasis on getting after the quarterback and not giving up big plays.
I would have had to guess the reason they felt like they had to, because of the McDuffie trade, they probably thought the Chiefs were going to go after him and they were going to get both corners. Right. Maybe that's what they thought, because that's the reason they felt like they had to go up to 27.
Well, I got playing the draft. Like you're not, and sometimes you don't draft on the value of the pick, you draft on the circumstances of the pick. Right? And that's one of the circumstances that you have, pointed out, that he's a good player, but I don't know if I want Kansas City, right? Or another team to get the player. We'll take him.
Yeah, and they raved about Johnson's versatility too. Like, they're saying he could be slot, he could be boundary. He's big. They feel like he can do a lot of different. They even mentioned with his skills he could be a safety. He's like, he's not going to be a safety, but he could be a safety. Right. So he was fluffing up his pick as you'd expect. He's swaggering a little bit.
Well, the fact that he's a big boy means that he does have some versatility.
And that's the thing that stood out the most. Like, I was like, all right, well, this guy very clearly is like, I'm drafting big corners, big receivers, big linemen.
Well, they said they want to be more physical, and that's one way of doing it.
Yeah. This was Sully yesterday. No apologies, he says, for his picks.
Downs and Bain are marvelous players, and I understand the question, and I think those guys are going to be very successful in this league, no doubt about it. Again, we thought Proctor was rare. His height, weight, speed, production, the things that he can do on the football field for a man his size, he's an outlier. There's not many like him. It's no shot at Caleb Downs, a phenomenal football player, and he'll have a great career. And we would have loved to have him here, but we had a lot of conviction on Proctor being a very unique player in this draft, and one that we can build around for years. We invested in Malik, and it was important for us to protect him, to make sure that he has time to do the things that he needs to do, and keep him healthy. So that was part of the conversation as well. We're thrilled with the pick. We're happy to add him. We have a lot of faith in the person, and we think he's going to be a really good player here. No apologies.
I don't think anybody was asking for an apology, Sully, but he's very fired up. He did say, though, he was asked. I think it was Josh Moser asked him this. He was asked if he was one of the players he dreamed about, and he said no. Neither of these players are the players he dreamed about. But then he kind of like finagled the answer, and he was claiming that, like, I think it might have been like a flashback dream because it was in Green Bay, because I dreamt that we were taking tags and our room is all digital. I'm like, all right. So now it's a flashback dream. I thought you were dreaming of the future, dude.
I would say this, that you have 9 offensive linemen go in the first round.
Yeah.
That's like, that goes to show you where just the league in general is thinking.
What'd you think about the lineman the Patriots took, whose draft video on ESPN was him dancing?
From Utah?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I guess they got to lighten the mood in New England the way things are going on over there.
I mean, maybe he's got good feet. I don't know.
Didn't he ask, how are you, coach? And coach is like, it's about you right now. How am I?
Yeah.
Be great if you told it. I got to be honest with you, Caleb. Not great. It's been kind of a tough week.
I mean, is it? I mean, you know what else is amazing? 2 offensive linemen from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like it's just something you don't normally see. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Or
Well,
Indiana having 2 first-round picks.
I know. Jets had 3 first-round picks. They went up and got Omar Cooper late. If you guys didn't stay up past the Dolphins pick, the Jets traded up. They got Omar Cooper from Indiana. They had a fun draft. I mean, like, I don't know if it's gonna be good, but Vlad was peacocking last night.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's got Kenyon Sadiq. He's like, we're gonna be like the old Patriots because we got Mason Taylor and Sadiq, and we got Omar Cooper and Garrett Wilson. They got a lot of great weapons. And
Kenyon
Breece Hall.
Sadiq is closer to a wide receiver. Dude can flat out run.
Problem is they got Geno Smith. Oh man.